welcome back to another Warzone video, guys, and today's quite special because instead of the usual 5 class setups, I'm going to be sharing 10 class setups with you guys in exact order from what I think is best to worst. Now, even the worst gun on this list makes the top 10, so it's definitely a better gun in the game, and all these classes are my favorite classes for every single gun. Now, I think it's the best time to upload a top 10 and give you guys a top 10 list because there is no actual meta weapon in the game currently, which is actually great. There's no one go-to gun that every single person is trying to use. There's not one weapon that everybody needs to use in order to compete. There's actually 10 weapons on this list where they all have their own strengths and they all have their own weaknesses. So we're going to talk about every single one, and it's going to be in complete order, like I said. So the first one making this list, and it's my favorite gun, currently my favorite weapon in the entire game, and that is the XM4. Now, the XM4 from Cold War in Warzone is actually really good for multiple reasons. One, it's actually pretty accurate. A lot of people have this misconception that it has so much recoil and stuff. If you make the right class for this, it is good and it has high damage, so definitely go ahead and use it. So for the class, and my favorite class for this one, the muzzle is the agency suppressor, the barrel is the 13.5 inch reinforced heavy, the laser, which we're actually using a laser on this, it's kind of weird but it's really nice to have, is the SOF target designator, and this is good because it gives you effective damage range. All 3 attachments that I already mentioned give you effective damage range, so this makes the gun very good at long distance. It makes it very good at mid range, and even up close this gun could handle itself. Now, the underbarrel is the field agent grip, and the ammunition is the salvo 60 round fast mags, so you can reload faster and have extra bullets, which is kind of nice. The gun's heavier but you reload quicker. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. Now, guys, before we get into the other 9 weapons on the list, if you could drop a like on this one, that would be absolutely amazing, and let me know which guns you guys think I'm going to mention on this list. You can name one of them, you can name 2 of them, it doesn't matter. If I name it, you win. Congratulations. I'll send an invisible unicorn over to your house. Now, the next weapon on this list, a lot of you guys might not agree with this, and it's because a lot of people actually haven't tried this weapon out themselves, and trust me, man, you gotta use it. That's the Krig 6. The Krig 6 is crazy good as well, and ever since they updated the optic, it's been really accurate. It feels really good to use, and this is definitely a gun you want to go out and use. So the muzzle is the agency suppressor, which is pretty much the monolithic suppressor, but you get even better stuff. You get vertical recoil control and you get bullet velocity along with sound suppression and effective damage range, so this is really nice to have. Definitely throw it onto your weapons. The barrel is the 19.7 inch takedown. Again, we're getting even more effective damage range. Now, we can't put on a laser to give us effective damage range because I need an optic on this gun, and that is the Axial Arms 3x scope. Now, this is really good because if you guys like the VLK from Modern Warfare weapons, this is pretty much it, but on Cold War weapons. It feels so nice to use this now, and if you haven't used it since the update, trust me, throw it on. Every gun is going to feel like a laser no matter what gun you use. It's going to feel really good, so I love that right there. The underbarrel is the field agent grip, and the ammunition is the 45 round mags. You don't need to put on the salvo 60 round fast mags, nothing like that. We don't need it. It's good enough with 45 rounds. Now, moving on to number 3, I have an SMG I want to talk about, and this SMG is what I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, and a lot of people I noticed don't like giving this gun a chance, and for some reason it feels like your aim assist on controller is a little weaker with this gun, but once you get the hang of it, it's probably one of the strongest SMGs in the game. It's good at mid-range as well. Even at further distances for an SMG, it does really good. So the number 3 spot has to go to the FENNEC, and I love the FENNEC because it's overpowered. I have to say it, like, it definitely is, and it definitely deserves to be in the top 3 on this top 10 list. So the class for this one, we're actually not going to run a muzzle because the barrel gives us everything we need for it. The ZLR 18 inch deadfall barrel gives you damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and sound suppression, so that's really good right there, and it's definitely going to go off on people. The laser, which I'm happy we got to actually run a laser on this one, is the 5 MW laser. You get hip fire accuracy and you get sprint to fire speed, so that's really nice in and of itself. Again, right there, really good class, and you'll go off on people. The underbarrel is the Commando 4 grip, the ammunition is the 40 round drum mags, and the rear grip is the stippled grip tape. I feel like this class right here makes this gun amazing, and you will definitely do good with it. Going down to the number 4 spot, we got an old school weapon, and this is a weapon that was one of the first ever metas in the game, and they did nerf it, but it is really good again. And at number 4, we're going to throw the GRAU onto this list. This is a gun that anybody could go and use, and you will do good with it. It's very accurate, it has decent damage, and even at those super long sniper ranges, this gun will knock people, so it's really good. Now, the muzzle is the monolithic suppressor. Obviously, you need that sound suppression, and you also need that damage range to go for those longer shots. The other attachment attachment. This one is probably the most important attachment for this gun right here, and that's the barrel. It's the Tempest 26.4-inch Archangel, and the reason this is the most important one is not because it gives you damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, which is all great, trust me on that, but it changes the actual sight of the weapon itself, and it's really nice. You don't need to throw an optic if you put this barrel on. The iron sight is beautiful and you will see people at all ranges. If you don't put this barrel on, the iron sight is a little wonky and you might need to waste another attachment just to throw on an optic. So trust me, run that no matter what and you'll be good to go. The underbarrel is going to be the Commando foregrip and the ammunition is going to be the 60 round mags. And like I said, we got an extra space for another attachment since we don't need to run an optic, and this is perfect. You could put on the rear grip F-Tac R89 rubber to get even more recoil control. Now this gun's already a laser, but this just makes it 10 times better. Now another weapon on this list is another one that I feel like a lot more people need to start using, and that is gonna be the RAMZ. Now the RAMZ is a gun a lot of people sleep on. It's really, really good, and I put it at number 5 on this list, so it could be in the top 5. That's how much I love this gun. So the RAMZ, what I like to have on it is the monolithic suppressor. Again, sound suppression, damage range. We all know how it is. We got all those nice attachments. The barrel is going to be the FSS Ranger. You get even more damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Now this gun's already accurate as is, but putting on recoil control, putting on this right here, helps it be even better. Now I am the type of person where I like the iron sight on the RAMZ, but there's a few people who don't like it whatsoever. So if you don't like it, put on the optic VLK. It's going to do a nice job. It's going to feel nice and you'll be lasering people for sure. But if you're like me and you could just run an iron sight, then switch out to that optic, take it off completely, and put on the rear grip stippled grip tape so you could ADS faster, and you could also have faster sprint to fire speed, which is really good. The underbarrel is the Commando foregrip, and the ammunition is the 50 round mags for this one right here. You can't get 60. I wish you could, but 50 is going to have to do a nice job for this one. And now let's go on to the last 5 weapons of this list. So that's the first top 5. We got the XM4, Krig 6, FENNEC, GRAU, and RAMZ. Then after that, we can move on to the bottom 5 weapons, which are still in the top 10. They're still really good, but they didn't make the top 5. And I'm going to say at number 6, I gotta kind of put the LC10. Now the LC10 is a weapon that it's strong, it's good, it does a decent job, but I couldn't put it above the FENNEC in terms of SMGs. I couldn't do it. The FENNEC, for some reason, I get better gameplays using that. Now, I don't use SMGs as much as I should. I definitely use ARs a lot more, but they are nice to have as a secondary weapon, and the LC10 is going to do a nice job. So for this, you want the agency suppressor as the muzzle. You get sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and effective damage range. We all know how nice that is. It's good to have. Then the barrel is the 13.2-inch rifle. You guys could see that. It gives you just effective damage range, but that's the only thing you need for it. It's going to do a decent job. The laser is the SOF target designator, which gives you even more effective damage range, and it also gives you hipfire accuracy, which is always nice to have on an SMG in case you don't have time to ADS. If somebody does come up behind you, you could just turn and snap on them really easily. The underbarrel is the field agent grip for vertical and horizontal recoil control, and the ammunition is going to be the STANIKE 55 round mags. Now again, this only gives you extra bullets, but it doesn't take away too much. It does take away some ADS and some reload quickness, but at the end of the day, you're not losing too much on it right there. So it's nice to have good class, and I really wish people tried the LC10 a lot more. Now another weapon on this list is one that I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to love, and that is the M4A1. The M4A1 was definitely the first meta in this game. Like right when Warzone came out, everybody had an M4A1 class. No one was running the GRAU, no one was running anything else. I feel like this and the actual sniper was what most people were using. Any sniper along with the M4A1 was the go-to weapons. If you guys remember that, man, props to you. So for this class, it hasn't changed one bit. It's still the exact same class that I shared with you guys once Warzone first dropped. Now, the muzzle is the monolithic suppressor. Obviously, we know what it does. It's really good and it's nice to have. The barrel is the stock M16 Grenadier, which is the best barrel to throw onto this weapon. It gives you recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. The underbarrel is the Commando foregrip for recoil stabilization and aiming stability. I have to say, the Commando foregrip to me is a lot better than the Merc foregrip. I don't know why, I just like it a lot better, especially in Warzone. In multiplayer, I use the Merc a lot more, but on Warzone, for some reason, the Commando just feels nicer. The ammunition is the 60 round mags, and the last attachment to this one is the rear grip rubberized grip tape, which again, just gives you recoil control, but it's nice to have on the M4A1. Now, let's go down to another Cold War weapon, and this is one that I did not want to use, because I used it right when Cold War weapons first came out in Warzone, and I didn't like it, and then I came back to it now, and it's actually really good, and that is the AK-47 at the number 8 spot on this list. Now, a lot of people try the AK-47 when they get it on the ground loot, and trust me, these classes are the complete opposite of what they should be. So the AK-47 ground loot, to me, is complete trash. Don't use it, it's garbage, and it has a bunch of recoil, but if you make the right class for it, you will definitely do a good job using this weapon. So the first attachment is the muzzle GRU suppressor. It's the same, you guys know what it is. You get sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, effective damage range. It's nice. The barrel is the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel, which gives you bullet velocity, strafe speed, which is really cool, and effective damage range, which is nice. It is very effective. Now, we do need an optic on this, because I don't like the iron sight, and at least for myself, I feel like an optic on the AK is a lot better, but I don't want to use a gigantic optic. I don't feel like using like the axle arms 3 times or anything like that, so I went with the smallest one that you could throw onto the gun, and that's the Microflex LED. It's really nice, and it keeps you a lot more accurate than you think it does, so it's gonna do a good job. Now, I did throw a stock on this. Out of most classes that I have on this top 10 so far, I think this is the first or second stock we actually use, and that is the KGB skeletal stock, which gives you ADS firing move speed. So if you're ADSing and shooting this gun, you can move a lot quicker. It gives you aim walking move speed as well, so even when you're not shooting or anything like that, you can move a lot quicker, and it gives you sprint to fire time, so you could get that gun out and shoot faster than the enemy if he doesn't have sprint to fire on as well. So that's really nice. Now, there's no under barrel, there's no rear grip. Instead, I went with the ammunition, and that's only going to be the 45 round mags. We don't need the VDV 60 rounds, we don't need the GRU mag clamp or anything like that. The 45 rounds does a nice job, and trust me, that's all you want. Now, the last 2 weapons on this list are going to be SMGs. One of them is from Cold War, and that's going to be at the number 9 spot. It's the BULLFROG, and then another one is going to be a Modern Warfare one, which I have to say, I don't want to put it at number 10, but I haven't been using it a lot lately, which is why I made it to the bottom of this list. So at number 9, we got the BULLFROG. The muzzle you want to use is the GRU suppressor, same thing that we just used on the AK. The barrel is the 6.7-inch VDV reinforced, which gives you effective damage range and bullet velocity. The laser is the KGB target designator, which is pretty much the SOF, I think, it's just a different name. You get effective damage range and you get hip fire accuracy, so it's nice, but people could definitely see your flashlight. After that, we got the underbarrel, which is the Spetsnaz grip, and this gives you the vertical and horizontal recoil control that you need. And then we got the ammunition 65 round mags. Now, the reason the BULLFROG made it on the list but didn't make it high enough, it's all the way down at number 9, is because yes, this gun is great. Yes, this gun is super accurate, and yes, for an SMG, this could kill people at long range, but I feel like the damage is just a little too low to make this gun perfect. If they did buff this gun, which I really wish they do, and they gave it 1 or 2 extra damage, that would put this gun definitely in the top 3 for me, probably taking over the FENNEC, because it is a very nice gun to use. It's very noob friendly, it's very easy to use, but it's just right now it's just a little too weak. Now let's go on to the last weapon on this list, and that is at the number 10 spot, and it's going to be the Modern Warfare MP5. I love this gun, it's good, and if you're good with it, you could definitely use it for mid-range as well. The first thing is the muzzle monolithic suppressor. We all know what it does. I must have mentioned it on every Modern Warfare class in this video so far. The barrel is the FSS Mini, which gives you ADS speed and movement speed. Now, you might say, why would you run that one when using it for mid-range? But trust me, it's accurate, it's strong, and it does a good job. Finally, we got another stock, and that's going to be the FTAC Collapsible, which gives you even more movement speed and even more ADS speed, which is really nice. The underbarrel is the Commando foregrip for recoil stabilization and aiming stability, and the ammunition is the 45 round mag. So that is it, guys. That is my top 10 at the moment. Thank God there is no meta weapon in the game, and you guys could utilize and use every single one of these classes. Now, if you made it this far into the video and I haven't mentioned the gun that you guys love, make sure to leave it down in the comments below so I could cover it as well. If I didn't mention your favorite gun or something like that, or a gun that you think is really good that I completely missed, let me know down in the comments. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like and sub to the channel if you guys are around here with those notifications turned on. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.